Hello.
You know what? I am not liking this platform. I'm not. I'm so accustomed to the intro with the music and all of that. And so now it's like I got to pull up my phone to look at it. Well, hello, everyone. I got to share this on my page. Let's see, because I can't log in. Oh, my. The woes, the woes, the woes. But at any rate, welcome to the Boss Ladies Lounge. It is Monday, March 17th, 2025, and you have joined us for yet another power packed conversation filled show on this evening. I am April Anderson, and I am one of the amazing hosts. And then I have my girl, my sister, my friend, my confidant, my ride or die. Even though she's in a different state, I know she'll travel wherever I need her
Yes.
to. Morgan Harvey, that's on with me. Hey Mo, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
It's Monday. It's Monday.
Yeah.
The weekend goes by way too fast, But you know what I did do this weekend? I
What?
relaxed. I realized I was a lot more tired than I thought because I came in. Now, this is what I was going to do Saturday. Saturday, as Ariel is spending time with her friends, and I was
Mm-hmm.
too, since I'm kid free. I'm like, I want to go to the dinner. I'm going to go to movies, but we had a tornado watch. So I'm like, yeah, I might not better do that. So I said, I'll just be on the sofa and do what I do, which is watch Marvel because I love, 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 love Marvel. How about
Okay.
movies watched me asleep on the sofa? When I tell you, I felt like someone had put some sleepy dust on me. I was so upset, but it let me know that I really was tired, so I needed to rest. So, y'all, give yourselves time to rest. We need to revive and rejuvenate ourselves, and the way that we do that is through rest. So, either you're going to do it voluntarily or your body is going to make you do it. And my body made me do it. Like I literally was going to watch one Marvel movie after another and watch the timeline. Yeah, that timeline watched me. When I woke up, I was like, wait a minute, what happened? And then I
Hilarious.
proceed to go into my bedroom. You move around, you wake up. And so I'm like, okay, I'm a little more awake. I'm going to watch another movie. Why did I fall asleep sitting straight up in the bed, fully dressed? Straight up in the bed, propped up, fully dressed, lights on. My TV had gone to the screensaver. I had been asleep that
Mm-hmm.
after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I found myself, so Noah was running a slight fever due to our vaccinations, and so I
Mm,
was kind of not like in and out of sleep, trying to monitor what was going on. And so
right.
I found myself rewinding the same episode of a show three times because
Oh
I
wow.
started it and then fell asleep, and then I'd wake up and it'd be like 2 minutes before the end, so I'd be like, let me run that back real quick, I'll just watch it and then fall asleep again. So it's a real thing. But I also had like two babies back to back, and then my car got broken into. So that's been news for this week while I
Oh
was at
yeah,
the
I
hospital.
remember. I remember you texting me about that. So did you get any kind of notification that they tried to use the cards or anything that was in there?
No, I haven't, which is good. But I'm just hoping, like I said, that they just choked every time they
Every time you swipe
tried
it,
to
shout
use those cards.
fire run through your arm and singe your chest.
Exactly. Let you have to go back to the very hospital that you stole those cards from and then have them in your pocket so that they're like, oh, it was you.
And
Like,
forever
yeah,
remember this day that you did that.
exactly. Remember this name. This is what happens when you start messing with folks with the name
Right,
Morgan Harvey. Okay.
right,
Goodness
right.
gracious. I'm
Just
over
say
here trying
you
to do a service, and here you are just costing
taken.
me money that
Right, right.
but jokes
Okay.
on them, jokes on them. So it works.
Uh-huh. It really is. And I wish I could be there to watch him try to swipe. Swipe. Yeah, you won't be getting nothing
Literally.
like that.
Exactly. Literally.
Oh my goodness. Last Monday, we had fun time, awesome time with Kivas. And I sent him the link for today. So he said if he would be able to get off work in time, he would get on. So I just think we
Wonderful.
just have our extra host now. I like having him on there, his perspective and his inclusion and
Yeah.
everything. Now, y'all listen. This man is going to be on with us next Friday for our next Monday. Why did I say next Friday? What's going on next Friday? I got to look at the date and see what that is. Maybe something is going to go on next Friday. I don't know. But
Maybe, but then look, y'all are gonna be doing next Monday by yourselves.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Heart.
I just realized that. Like, yeah, y'all y'all are gonna be by yourselves.
Is this when you're leaving?
Yeah, I leave on Monday. So I leave
That
exactly a
quick?
week from today. Yeah.
Oh Lord! And I can't even come to Delaware to say bye. I just got to be like,
I
bye,
know.
and look at airplanes in the sky. Is that Morgan? Bye,
Yeah,
bye, Noah. Bye, Joe.
exactly. Yes. Exactly. I'll wave out the plane. Maybe you'll be able to see me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Are you excited?
I'm getting excited. It's a little bit more real now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I was
is.
like, the only thing we got to do is, take care of this dog situation. But other than that, I was like, we're all the way good to go. I just need to pack my bags. I just looked at another suitcase just in case.
Uh-huh.
And
Now, people have always talked about how I just pick up and travel from state to state to state. You have trumped me. Do you hear me? What you're doing trumps any state that I've moved to or lived in. No, I nothing I have done. I've moved a lot of places and lived a lot of places, but nothing does this.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what?
I'm I'm this person now.
If I was
Yeah.
presented with the opportunity to do it, I believe I would.
I'm just letting you know I'm presenting you with the opportunity. So you
Oh
might as
Lord,
well just
see,
go ahead and make arrangements right now because we're taking this show international
hey, listen,
come the fall.
I
Like,
have a couple of
whole new
friends over
show, whole
there.
new location.
Yeah,
Like,
we're at the Boss Ladies Lounge all the way from
it's Africa.
Africa.
Like, exactly. And we're going to do this from different countries too. Like,
Oh
that's
my
that's how
God,
we about to do this. Yes,
yeah.
entrepreneurship on the international level. Like, you started it, just so you know. You started it. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to follow suit then. Big sis is
Well,
over here doing things. Let me hurry up and follow suit. So
you're following in a big way. I'm telling you, you doing way bigger than I. Hey, but I am getting my feet wet with the international travel stuff. Not that I'm new to it, but there was a span of time between me traveling like that. So now it's picked up. So yeah, who knows? I got a couple friends over there who are like trying to get me there. I'm like, nah, I'm good over here where I am. But maybe now I have a reason to do come over there. And I hope not to come and be like, you know what? Yeah, I think I just might want to stay and post up
that's what
over
my
here.
aunt did. She's been there now
Really?
6 years. Yeah, came on vacation. She went on vacation and was just like, "Never mind, I'm not coming back."
Oh wow.
Y- Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
this is what I say. Whatever the plan is for my life, whatever God has, wherever that next place is, it is what
It's
it
gonna be
is.
us sharing a big compound. We're gonna have a whole bunch of land. That's what's about to happen.
Wait, hold up, pump your brakes a little bit now. I'm not the outside outdoorsy girl. I'm the indoors girly girl. So I won't be out there planting and gardening and all that kind of stuff.
That's totally fine. We've got people to do that. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
you'll be there, and again, consultation. You just do what you do, and the
Okay.
rest of us will take care of all that other kind of stuff. It's it's a
Okay.
it's
Ah,
it's a community thing, you
okay.
know.
I'm just letting you know that you won't be getting me out there getting my hands dirty. No, planting nothing. Not no, no. What? I'm being honest. Now my kids
That's
will
fine.
say,
You could be in the house making weaving pocketbooks and
you know what?
you're gonna start a waist bead line.
You know what? I don't have the patience for that. So I might better find something else to do because that doesn't appeal to me at all. No, no. So I can't make anything.
I'm just
I can't go. I don't want to go in the yard. What is there for me to do?
Listen, I told you. So once I get there, then I'm gonna call you because I don't already put in some time to go through the hospitals, to go sit
Mm.
with some midwives and do a lot of things. So I'll see exactly what that looks like. Like I said, you just gonna do you,
You
and the
know
rest
what?
of us that got all these other things that we do, you'll just be able to, I guess, again, benefit from. It'll work itself out. Don't worry about it.
Well, I would love, 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 love to start some surgical technology programs there.
Oh,
That
that would be
would just get
amazing.
one or two of the hospitals. Oh my God, Morgan, don't
Yeah.
start my brain to turning because I
Look,
literally could do that. I literally could do that and train
the
them.
possibilities are
Oh,
endless.
do you know how happy that would make me to be able to
Do you know
go?
how happy I am right now? This is what I'm saying. Hello? Just come
Oh my
on.
God, to go to another country and provide them the training that they need that will improve the outcomes of surgery, not only for them, but for their patients, to teach them about sterility and how to prepare instruments and how to, open up sterile and prepare and how to keep, oh my God. I would never
Yeah,
come back to the States. Like, no, no, no. Oh my
exactly. There's a great international school Ariel will be taken care of as well. Listen, I don't
Oh
I'm you just hit me with the list of things that you need questions answered, just like I got questions that are
wow.
answered. That'll be like, okay, so are we solidifying this? I'm just letting y'all know.
Wow. All right.
Don't put
Y'all
it out
hear it.
there.
Morgan and I are doing our thing with, we strategizing. We're strategizing. And this, listen,
Yes.
this all, y'all may think that we're just doing some regular old talking, but think about this. This is entrepreneurship at its finest. This is what you do in business. You
Yeah.
strategize, you plan, you lay it all out. Morgan's going to survey the land. She's going to check it out. She's going to see what's available. She's going to report back to me, who is passport ready. I don't have to
I
go get
know.
it
I
updated. I
know.
don't have to do that till 2032. So I'm set. All I got to do is just pack my bags and go and just implement. Like, I have my consulting business has everything necessary to get it started. All I need to do is talk to the powers that be and pitch it to them and show them what the possibilities are, and it's a done deal. I have
Right.
that.
And we know the powers that be.
We
Okay.
do know the powers that be. They make that
We know.
happen.
Yes.
They make it
Yes.
happen.
Like we do. We have like firsthand. Let me just. I got him on speed dial kind of deal. Like we're
Yeah.
good. We're
Yeah.
good. I'm
I'm
ready.
excited. I'm excited about that. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to get there and get settled in and then go meet with who you meet and then talk to people and say, "Hey, you guys have a surgical technology program at any of the institutions here?" And they're probably going to say, "What is that?" Let me get you in contact with the woman. Do you know how good that would look on my resume? Then I can go
I know.
anywhere. Any
Listen, you can already go anywhere, but like we about to.
Oh yeah, do that. Listen, if you
I
don't
got
remember
you.
anything else that we've talked about ever in this 2.5 years of knowing each other, I want you to do your due diligence with that because
I
yeah,
got you, sis. Look, listen.
yeah,
This is my forte, so I ain't gonna do you wrong. I'm gonna be
I'm
like, no,
excited.
April, this ain't it. We gotta go back to the drawing board on this, or say, April, pack your bags. Come
Right.
October, this is what we doing.
Now listen, I'm gonna tell you this. If this goes the way that we think it's gonna go, my mother is gonna clutch her pearls. She's not gonna
Clutch
want
your
me.
pearls and come on, mama. You can come too. Okay, that be the place. They need you. They need your daycare. They need all of that as well. Okay, so
Yeah,
look.
and my mother's a
Y'all just
nurse
we just
too.
need to know a couple of and other investors as well, because there's
Yeah,
actually a place that's up for sale right now that we could completely take over.
is that
Yes,
right?
yes, invest. Ooh, an investment. We got to talk.
Um,
We got to talk.
well, we sure enough
Anyway,
can
so this
talk.
is this is perfect segue into what we're talking about today, because
Yes,
apparently we can't do this here like this. All right, so
right. So
we
y'all
got to talk
welcome to.
about going
Oh
internationally
my
to do
God!
business these days.
But
So
we have put it out there so people know, like, what them two up to? Oh, big things. This is why y'all need to be following the Boss Ladies Lounge, because you never know what the two of us are going to work together and strategize with. And it could very well spark something in you that watch our show every week. You may not watch live, you may watch the replay, but we give you some tips and tools onto what you need to do or what you can do for entrepreneurship. See, Morgan and I, we're forward thinking people. We're always looking to progress. We're always looking to help people. That's our goal. And I know 100% because I know her spirit. I know her heart. She wants to help people just like I do. So if we get into an area where there's a need and we can fulfill that need, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But on today, so our guest today was scheduled for weeks ago, but ended up becoming ill and we had to reschedule, and she was free and available today. So Morgan, will you introduce our guest so we can get her on and start this discussion?
Yes, absolutely. So, y'all know that a lot of the times I meet our guests in a very unconventional way.
Not a lot
And
of times,
so
all the time.
all the time, all the time, exactly. So I thought that I was going to a routine prenatal, and I ended up meeting this absolutely wonderful lady. I immediately loved her personality and the energy that she brought, and the more that we ended up talking, it was crazy how the day before, our producers Peach had said something about DEI programs, and I was like, nah. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, "Are you sure we should talk about this?" And then I meet our guest for today, and I was like, she's perfect for
Mm.
this. Like, there is nobody better than to bring, one, the amount of knowledge that she has on this subject, but two, just like I said, her personality. I feel like she fits in perfectly to just, the environment and the feel of our show, but
Mhm.
then what she has to offer and the information that she has is just amazing. So without further ado,
Hey,
welcome,
Maybach.
Miss Marlo Green. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Thank you for having I'm well. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And yes, Morgan, we met in a very unconventional way. I do want to preface it that I am not the one that's pregnant for the prenatal appointment.
So let me clear that up.
Let's clear that up now.
That's
Very
like when
much
you go.
so. I was not expecting anyone, and then it was her, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice." And I just love the way that her and her daughter just really they've got a great relationship. They kept me laughing the entire time. So I was like, "This is the best early morning like appointment I've ever had, y'all." So,
Yeah, it's great. Wait, till you see us in the delivery room.
Oh,
oh,
okay.
I'm ready.
It's
I'm
go-
ready. I hope they're ready for us. Just so you know, the three of us cutting up, it's really gonna be a whole hot mess.
it's
So.
Oh,
it's going to be a mess, a full-on mess. April, I heard you say that you liked Marvel. And I just heard a fun fact today, but it's about DC. Wonder
okay.
Woman is DC, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
She has a twin sister. Now, I'm a Wonder Woman like fan. I just found this out today because she was born from clay. So her
Mhm.
mom made a second like clay baby that happened to be black.
Really?
Yes. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna send it to Morgan so she can send it to you. But she
Okay.
crafted so they were twins, but sent to live in different places. And she came back, she challenged Diana, she won the battle. It was so interesting. So
Wow.
it's a comic. Yeah.
Well, I'm
I
definitely
yeah,
interested
I
in
like.
that.
Me too. Me too. Yes, send
Yes.
that on.
And
That's
I'm
definitely
not DC.
interesting.
I don't do DC a lot. I do some because Marvel is my thing. But that right there, that'll make me kind of slide over that way a little bit and check that out.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
saw that
Especially
today.
the
I said,
stories.
oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, this evening we want to have this it's been very controversial, I guess you can say that, with DEI and everything that's happening in the government. And like I said before we started the show, I'm looking forward to what we're going to discuss, what you're going to share with us today to give me more insight because I grew up kind of sheltered, so I don't really know a whole lot. But so I'm learning, even at 49, I'm learning a whole lot. So I want to be in the know of what's going on. So,
Hmm.
like I said, we don't have anything scripted, but we just want to jump right into the discussion. And we have people that are watching who may want to put questions in that you'll be able to answer. We just want to let it flow. We want to give you just freedom just to do what you do.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So we're talking about DEI. Now, I don't want to assume that everybody knows what DEI is because there's DEI and then there's affirmative action. So DEI is a voluntary framework that organizations use to create a fair, respectful, and equitable environment for everyone. It's not for a particular group of people, it's for everyone.
Mhm.
And hello.
Hey,
And
Keenis.
Hello, hello. Greetings, everybody.
so diversity is
Sorry.
like who's in the room, how many, how many, it's just who's in the room in general. So that's hiring people from different cultures, different environments, different religions. Equity is about, are all those barriers removed so that everybody can get a chance to operate within their job and to do it fairly and to do it without barriers. And then inclusion is, do people feel valued? Do they feel as though they can come, they can bring their full self, and that they can feel free to speak and have feedback? Because a lot of times in organizations, women feel marginalized, people of color feel marginalized, and the only one that goes confidently in usually are white males. So,
Mm,
so that's really what DEI is about.
okay. Well, I'm glad you clarified that because I didn't want those lines, at least for me, blurred. And I'm glad you didn't make an assumption that everybody knew because I did not. So I'm thinking it's all lumped together, and it is clearly not that way. So,
No, it's not. And in some organizations, and when I've led DEI, I've always tried to add in the B, which is belonging. So,
mm,
and I have this cute little Charlie Brown analogy with the tables, but I can't show you here. But and the new thing though, a lot of times, I'm leading a committee for an organization. I'm on the board and I lead the JEDI committee, which is justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. So some of the letters are flipped around, but we included justice. So now we're, Jedi masters, if you will.
mhm. Morgan, were you talking?
My bad. I said I love that. The kids were walking in the house, so I had to meet them just in
I knew
case
it
they
was
got
either
loud.
it was either kids or the dog, one of the two.
The dog is chilling today, thank God.
What? That's a
Yes.
surprise. What did you give that dog? You did something to him. What'd you do
I
to
should
him?
be trying out some stuff for this flight, but nah.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess he's
right.
he's fed and not wandering around, so
Oh
that's
my
that's part
God.
of it.
So what? So different organizations or corporations, they develop their own. What do
Mhm.
they utilize to map this out? Is there some template or do they have a committee of people? How do they even come up with the language that's in there?
So most organizations, they have either a chief diversity officer, they have a committee, but it really just starts with human resources. And
Mhm,
in human resources, if they're a smaller organization, it usually falls to the HR people. For a large conglomerate, they usually hire either VP of diversity or chief diversity officer, and they really create the framework. For in a successful organization, it isn't just about saying, okay, we got this many of this color, this many of this age, this many of this gender. It really is about looking at your employee population. It's about looking at your supplier population. So if you're an organization and you have suppliers, you want to make sure you have supplier diversity. You want to make sure that you have neurodiversity. That's a hot topic nowadays, is neurodiversity, because we have so many people who um, are across the spectrum. We have people
mhm,
who process in different ways, people who are dyslexic, all of that, all of those items, people who are in wheelchairs, or even people who come to an organization and they may be sight impaired. all of those people with those various disabilities or issues, with it, we need to recognize what they bring to the table. And just because, you're differently abled doesn't mean that you're not effective, or doesn't mean that you can't do your job. So those are some of the things that you think about when you think about diversity and making it all encompassing.
Mm. I have so many things running through my head right now that you have opened up like all these questions. But one thing that I want to know is how do these corporations determine who they want to be their diversity officer? Like, how do they go about having the characteristics or whatever to choose that right person? Because everybody is not fit for that position. And that's the nice way I'm saying that. So how do they go about doing it where that person will be all inclusive?
Well, that's the rub. So there are some organizations that say, I want somebody who's diverse, who's going to be in this role and who's going to lead this charge. There are other organizations who say, at the end of the day, someone who is diverse may not be able to command the attention, get the ear of the ultimate decision makers. So, overwhelmingly, a lot of the diversity officers that you see in organizations are overwhelmingly white women,
Yeah, that's
and a lot of, yeah.
that's
But
concerning.
it's concerning, but at the end of the day, the biggest benefiter of DEI is white women.
Yeah.
So, we need to empower them to lead the charge. So if they're going to lead the charge, they need to be empowered with the tools in their toolbox in order to do it and do it effectively.
And that
So
requires a certain team of people that
it
works with
requires a certain team. It requires education. It requires different certifications. People assume that with human resources, that I always joke that we're like the wedding planner. No one appreciates us until somebody's spiking the punch, and nobody tends to appreciate human resources until something's going on. But if we're proactive,
Mhm.
we can really make effective change.
Can you go down the list of those, or like how these programs affect, like you said, they affect mostly white women. So then
Mhm.
after that, which groups are affected by DEI programs?
Okay, so the biggest benefiter is white women by about 63%. And
Mm.
then it comes in the next on the list is Latino Americans, Asian Americans, disabled Americans, Native Americans, veterans, LGBTQ plus community, and last on the list is African Americans at about
Hold up.
4%.
Wait a minute. What? We're at the
Yeah.
bottom of this list?
We are at the bottom, but that's not all, because if you think about meritocracy, so right now in the government, they're talking about meritocracy. There is a statistic, and I don't have it in front of me. Black women are overwhelmingly qualified for any job that they have, because I do remember this. We hold 40% of Black people combined. Um, we hold 60% of doctorates, and Black women hold 40% of master's degrees.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, Black women are powerful, and we have a lot of qualifications, and we believe in education.
Mhm.
So we don't tend to be out educated.
Right. This, y'all, if you don't hear anything else in this tonight, listen to just that statistic itself, because that should change your mindset about who you are. The way that not all of us, but way some of us as African American women, how we carry ourselves is less than who we are. If we think about it, think about how our ancestors were, how they were slaves, and how they made things work not only for their family but for the community as well. So not only do we have that, we have the degrees to go along with it, but all this creativity that we have that can impact this world in a major way. And there's so much division, and there's so much being held down. But I honestly believe that banding together even more makes a difference. And we need to do that. We really do. Think of that percentage is high. That's
Yeah.
60% of doctorate and 40% of masters. That's a large percentage.
And and I may have them switched around, but either way, it's still a large percentage. But
Right.
Yeah.
it's stuff that we don't even I was shocked when I heard it, because I was like, I did not realize the amount of Black women who are out there and who have advanced degrees. I'm surrounded by them, but it just when you're in your bubble, it just feels like it's only you and your friends.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah.
I want to meet all these women. Can I just meet?
Exactly. Exactly. We need them all on the podcast. So now here's the thing though, seeing as though we are at the bottom of the receiving end of these programs, what exactly does that mean for us? What does it mean as far as, a lot of the boycotts and, the spending power that we're trying to divert in other places right now, specifically with, these big companies getting rid of their programs?
Well, what I will say is that Target has seen like almost a 5 million um, drop in shopping trips, whereas Costco has seen 7.7 million visits in a sense. So in the period between Target saying we're going to roll back our initiatives, in the Target boycott. So Dr. Jamal Bryant is hosting that Target fast, and we have decided to vote with our dollars, and voting with our dollars meant we're not going to Target, but yes, we will go to Costco.
Mhm.
And Costco has seen an increase and Target has seen a decrease.
Because I know I
So,
haven't been to Target at all. And I love Target. But when that came out, I'm like, nope. My daughter has, she
mm,
got a gift card from Target for Christmas and it still has money on it. And she's like, well, what am I going to do? Nothing. It was a gift
Yeah.
card. You didn't spend your money on it. So it'll just sit there. We're
mhm,
not going. And I meant
Yeah.
that.
yes,
And we haven't been. So no, no. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know how to stick to that. They're like, but I need blah, blah, blah. To be 100% honest, everything that you need that's at Target can be gotten with a Black owned business, can be gotten at
Yes.
another even big establishment. It doesn't have to be that.
Absolutely.
Same thing when it comes to Amazon. Same thing when it comes to, I'm like I said, I was like, I ain't been to Chick-fil-A since they had their their employees wearing Blue Lives Matter shirts. Like it don't take much for me
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. It's been some time. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't been to a Starbucks since y'all wanted to arrest those brothers in Philly for doing absolutely nothing, what everybody else does at a Starbucks, which is go and sit and have a meeting kind of thing. Um,
Mhm.
and they had, I believe purchased something, or you know what I mean? So at this point, it doesn't take, again, it doesn't take much,
right.
but I
And
want to make sure that what we're doing actually makes sense, especially if we're at the bottom of this list. What is this really saying at the end of the day? Because we do also need these white women who are supposed to be the biggest benefactor, beneficiaries of these programs, to be also saying something. And it's like, I mean, y'all,
but
we're
honestly, they
here.
didn't know it.
Hmm.
They didn't know it. So it wasn't until now that people are just starting to say, okay, because now that they're affected by it.
Mm.
Before, they weren't affected by it. So we've always known it, but they are not. When you're not affected by something, you assume that it's not you. So how
Yeah.
many TikToks or Instagram posts have you seen where people are like, "Hey, you roll back this DEI. It's not supposed to affect me. I moved across country. It's not supposed to affect me. Hey, I voted for you, and why am I affected by this?" People don't understand what DEI is and what it brings to the table. The only people who are technically, realistically not covered are white males between the ages of 20 and 40 who are in perfect health, because if they have a disability, they're covered. If you know if s- any so how think about how many white males there are between 20 and 40 who are perfectly healthy, who are not gay, who are have no disability.
Wow. So now that it's there's more attention brought to it and there's an understanding of what it really is, do you foresee or has there been change in a positive way? Well, I know it's not going to be immediate because this just came up, but is there more talk about it and more implementation? Because I know Target's going to have to do something before they go out of business, but I'm wondering, has since there's now the knowledge of what it really means and who's actually benefiting, is there something being done or in the works of?
I think major companies are starting to learn from the targets. Target is even learning from it because now what they want to do is roll back their rollback.
Mm,
And but it may be too little too late because Black consumers are now saying we're not shopping with you. So yes, I think major consumers are learning from it, but they're a lot of companies are being strategic with how they're saying we're going to update our DEI initiatives, or we're going to change this, but they're being more strategic with the language. And
mm,
some companies are saying, or like Costco, who have said, we are standing on our principles, we're standing on what we've always done, and no matter what, we're doubling down on it. But then you have organizations who, like, if you think about colleges, even the most prominent colleges receive some type of federal grant or money, and if that is coming down, that you have a DEI program, we're no longer going to support it and you're going to lose billions a year. They have to figure out, all of these organizations have to figure out who they want to be.
and then too, even with that,
Mhm.
if they roll back the rollback and they change the language or do something, we know that it's just being done because of the ramifications of them doing that. So now, oh, let's
Right.
just fix this and we'll put it into writing and they'll come back. But no, the damage is done. And now we know that you're just doing that because you've lost millions of dollars in this in your corporation. So it's not genuine. So why would, just because you put it on paper doesn't mean it's right. Don't Doesn't mean you believe it and you're really going to stick with it, because after a year of it being in place, you can slowly drift back to the other way. And we have yet invested more money into your corporation. So it's just better to
Right.
bow. Like, I literally have found other places to get what I need and not go there. There's a lot of places I haven't been in a while. Like, I hadn't even been to Walmart in a while. I'll go somewhere else. Done any of that. And like Morgan said, there are Black owned businesses for a long time, and I
Yes.
got to find it. There is a Black owned bread company. Like, I would order from them and they
Yeah.
would ship
Yeah.
me my bread. And I'm like, this is amazing. I need to find them so I can now order from them again. Like,
Yes.
I need whatever y'all got. I Basic needs, the stuff that I had in my house, they had everything. All I had to do was order and it ship within a but and so then we're putting that money back into ourselves. And that's what needs to take
Yes.
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
And there's a
Absolutely.
guide
I,
too. When I find it, I'll send it to you, Morgan, with all Black businesses, because my
yeah.
challenge was I could avoid Target, but my challenge has been Amazon. Like, it was so convenient.
Hmm.
I'm going to just hop on and order that one thing because I got Prime. So it's now finding ways to find things that I need, finding other stores, small owned businesses. And it's really been exciting just trying to find that stuff. It's sometimes I'm like, I want it now, but it's all conditioning. So it taught me to, do a better job planning. Don't wait
Right.
until something is out and get same day shipping. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just plan a little bit better. I um I definitely want to put out there, especially for those, because I've seen, of course, there's a lot of, mixed feelings. Like, I'ma still shop at Target anyway, and I'ma still do that. That's cool. But I need people also to see the abusive like relationship that our country has with us. And abusive in the sense of, they do stuff and then we call them out on it, and then it's a, oh, I'm sorry, or oh, my bad, and then try to throw something at the issue, like, oh, here, this is how we can ameliorate it, but it really is putting a band-aid on a broken bone, and then
Mhm.
trying to tell us, oh, it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so when we look at it, it's I think we need to start looking at the bigger picture, because for this, we might not be the biggest benefactor of these programs, but it's not as if this doesn't also affect, some people, they fall into all of the other categories as well. You know what I mean? So even as someone who might be black but disabled, you're gonna get a little bit more of those, those programs. I think I was talking to you, Marlo, and you were saying that there's like a government official that ends up being um disabled, and it was like, yeah, if we just went to the government office and took the rails out,
Yes,
somebody would have
that was
something to
me.
say. But yeah, we were like, but that's the whole
Yeah, we were
DEI
talking about
program right
government.
there. So
Yeah, we were talking about Governor Abbott because he signed away DEI in the state of Texas, but he's in a wheelchair and he doesn't realize, the ramps weren't always there. It was to provide equity. When you get in an elevator and it doesn't close right away, there's a
yeah,
reason for all those things that happen because it was to allow people who needed that extra time to even press a button. It's to allow people who are in wheelchairs to get into a building. Because
Mm-hmm.
traditionally, back in the 60s and 70s, if you had a wheelchair, you couldn't go into the building unless somebody helped you get into the building.
So he shot himself in the
yeah.
foot by signing that. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
But again, I also look at how many times are people going to continue to make misinformed decisions and
Mm-hmm.
then want to call, backsies later. Like it doesn't work like that. Like you can't know
right.
backsies. Y'all done put this person in office. Y'all done, elected this person to do X, Y, and Z. You've agreed that this person is going to do blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, how many years do we have to see people lie about their initiatives or what they plan on doing only to not deliver? I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
even see it in regular TV programs with, children running for class president and class this, and they're over here with the bake sale and with the stickers and the all of these other things just to get the people's votes. And then once they do get voted in, you know what I mean? They're not delivering on the very things that, mattered to the people that they're supposed to be serving in the first place. So we need to start doing something different, thinking about things different. Everybody wants to make a joke about, the Green Party or the Tea Party or, all these other kind of people. But I mean, I see it as if we put somebody of actual fighting power in those spots, who's to say that, the next time we don't have to actually just be Democrat or Republican? Like, let's start actually putting some people in the running that will do some things that we want to do and shake some stuff up, rather than, continuing doing the same old thing and then complaining that we're getting abused. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because for
Yeah,
me, I'm over here like the complaint is getting old, and that's why we talking about international business and moving abroad.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
It's real. It's real.
But
That's
unfortunately, in this
honest.
election, yeah, it's real honest. But in this election, we were told who everyone was, and
Yeah.
everyone was he was very clear on what his agenda was. And but it's not until people are uncomfortable that they are willing to now realize what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of the school, even school funding, when you think
Oh
about
yes, ma'am.
socioeconomic funding, DEI helps with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the people are now starting to realize in the poorest states, red states are historically very poor states, and they rely on that money, the education money for their schools, for their lunch programs, and they're now finding out that they're affected.
Wow. Homeschooling sounds really good right about now, but I don't know if I can be with my daughter all day long and survive the day. But
The
that's
funny,
something
well,
like
remember I
It'd be
had
very
said, I think it
beneficial.
was last week,
yeah.
that exactly. I was like, we would ameliorate so many issues if we went back to the way that the family structure was before 1940. which
Yeah.
was mom was working from home, dad was working from home, the kids were also home. So the average parent was spending most of their time with their kids, but now they got work ethic. They actually got some on the job training. There were other people that, even if, let's just say, mom is a farmer and dad is a carpenter, and they weren't into any of those things. You had the welder that was next door. You know what I mean? You had, the cobbler down the street. You had the seamstress to the left. So there was still a place for someone to learn something, and it was a learned skill that you were able to actually do. Like, entrepreneurship was a thing. It wasn't like a fad or a trend or everybody's trying to get into. But the reality is that's the only way that you made money. That's the only, and we lived in communities that were self-sustainable together. So, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? You went to your neighbor because you needed shoes, and then you went across the street because you needed a haircut. Then you went across the other side of the street because you needed some eggs. And then everybody came to you because you had the cow. Like, you know what I mean? You break it up and everybody does their part in things. That's why I'm like, April, that's fine. You ain't got a green thumb. Cool. We'll find something in the community for you to do.
Yeah. There's
At least
something.
we got a surgeon on hand. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rest of us
Anything
green thumb
medical, I got
people, we
you.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything medical, I got you. I can do it. I got it.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
know what? And those type of skills, those are some of the things that was like the first thing that started being removed from the home, was just actually learning how to do anything. Honestly, like you were saying, just like there were somebody like cooking, sewing. Like I could think all of my sisters learned something different from, like, my grandma showed them all each something different. Um, yeah, from sewing and doing just like small little things. Like I was out gardening and weeding and roofing, and they were in there doing like all the cooking, kneading and separating and doing all that other stuff like that. So like those skill sets and everything. Oof, man. Sorry. uh,
Yeah, those skill
but yeah,
sets are
actual,
necessary. I agree.
Yeah.
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 And grandparents are still at work. I mean, when you think about it, the boomers have not retired. So
Right.
for my
Hmm.
kids, their grandparents are boomers who are still out in the workforce. And me, my grandchildren, they're at school now, but I'm still in the workforce. So those things are not being passed down strictly because there's people are still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we need to just change the mindset of working. I think we were even talking about this last week too, with, working to live versus living to work. You know what I mean? And at this point in time, what are we really investing in so that our grandkids, our great grandkids can be able to have a different kind of lifestyle? Or are we going to continue in the survival mode that a lot of our previous generations, have operated in?
Yeah.
So, we're still having conversations about when grandparents and aunt and uncles die, that we're losing land that we've had for years, or, certain things weren't put together so that, we can be effective and honestly be still building wealth rather than still live in that paycheck to paycheck type of situation.
Yeah.
And a lot of us aren't taught the benefits of home ownership.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I, I talk to people all the time who want to rent because it's easier or what they perceive as easier. And for me, my grandparents always drilled into me the importance of owning something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Something that's going to be able to be passed down or have good value for a long time to come. That I remember hearing growing up that land, that's the thing to have. You need to have some land. And
Yes.
on my mom's side, we have land in one part of Florida, like acres and acres and acres of land that has not been developed. And we really, mom, because she's the one to put that comment up about the private schools. We really need to look into that because that's a whole lot of land that we could utilize for generations to
Yes.
come. I have 3 grandchildren, I have 4 kids. So, that after I'm gone, they're going to need something. So, and then our other family members as well. It's enough land for all of us, really. So, definitely with the ownership. But the you were right, the family dynamic has changed, and we're all like we're out in the workforce. And I can't tell you how many of older people that should be retired or doing something else that are they're greeters at Walmart, or they're working in
Yes.
grocery stores or doing other things. And I'm like, what is going on here? It's somewhere there was something broken, and it's yet
Yeah.
still that way. Um,
Well, you
Yes.
also have a lot of people too that are extremely, like you said, educated, but then they can't get something. I was like, didn't actually, Kevish, you had said last week you started taking things off of your resume so that you could
Yep.
actually get hired. I
Yes.
remember coming out of college
Hmm.
being told that I was overqualified to work at Enterprise, and I was just trying to answer phones and take people's
Yeah.
information for rental cars. And I didn't even have a college degree at that time, but they were looking at just my customer service and my background, and they're like, yeah, nope, that ain't it. Like, we don't you've got people with doctorates flipping burgers at McDonald's, and then
Mm.
folks are over here talking about horrible service. Well, I mean, you got people out here working jobs that they have never ever worked before, and then here you go
Yes.
with your high judgment and criticism. Want to talk about somebody else is just
Yeah.
trying to put food on the table at this point in time? Like, they ain't
Yes.
worried about you and whether or not your burgers
Right.
got too much ketchup or not. Like, they're not supposed to be in this job, and
Yeah.
that's something I think we all have to like get used to and realize, like, we're in a different time.
Yeah, and education was definitely instilled in us. So we went and especially Black women, we went and got all this education. And it's okay, I know you're not giving me the thumbs down.
I
But
was like, really?
Yeah, I was like, how did that happen?
I was like, what
but
happened?
Did you not
I promise you. Look, now I'm gonna do this to see if it doesn't.
but yeah, we went and got all this education, but people can't retire because they're still paying back student loans.
like?
Hmm.
The dreaded
Yeah.
student loans. I'm so
Those
sick of
dreaded,
looking
yeah.
at them. Oh my God. Wow.
I
Well,
don't
the
even
Gen
like
X will
hearing that
probably
term
die
anymore.
with them.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like make you break out. Like, oh my God.
Like, oh my God, I
What?
got the chills.
Right.
Exactly. Who do we need to bribe to get those programs taken care of? Like, that's the question. Let's talk about the real
Yeah.
things that we've got
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on. Let's talk about the cost of living. Let's talk about the cost of food right now. Those
Yeah.
kind of things. Let's talk about all the additives that we're putting into stuff that is just slowly adding
Just
to
the
our
basic
demise.
necessities to survive. Like, that is getting
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So as far as what we're dealing with now with DEI, what in your expertise, I just want to get your opinion on what can be done to kind of alleviate this and put it more towards permanent change, not a temporary fix like Morgan was talking about the band-aid over the broken bone, but more towards changing for the better, or do you even see that as a possibility?
We see it as a possibility in the future, about 4 years down the line, maybe. I see it as a possibility. Um, I think that if companies continue to stand like Costco and double down, and people continue to vote with their wallets, no matter what happens, other in other places in politics, the bottom line is we live in a capitalistic society, and companies are going to do what's best for their bottom line. And for Costco, they said doubling down on DEI is work for us. They probably are going to triple down on it because it's working and their sales are increasing. I went to Costco the other day. It has never been more crowded, but people are going in and they're supporting companies like that. So I think a lot of companies will see that and they'll get on board, because now we're in the find out phase, and people are finding out that DEI does not mean black. It
Mhm.
means the good majority of Americans. And now that they understand that they may fall into a DEI category, a lot of people will get on board.
Yeah.
And then those
Absolutely.
people, this is the my hope is, let's just say, Target, they're now trying to undo, and they start to make some changes, but those people that they get in there will see the real culture, that it's just all for show. So again, like, nah, thought it was. They just did this on paper, because I would be that person. I would be the one that would get hired and
Mhm.
then thinking, okay, they're going to do things better and do it right by everybody, and then realize, oh no, this isn't. This isn't any of
Yeah.
that, and I would say something in a heartbeat. So I hope that if they do come up with whatever, people are still going to watch out for that and say, no, this is not, it's not better. This, they just did that for show. It's not real. So,
Yeah.
I could see a lot of companies doing that. Doing stuff for show. Like all they're gonna do is just change the mask. Like they could like buy their time and wait for things to die down and start incorporating certain tricks and certain traits. But then after a while, once they get the visual back on them, saying, "Oh yeah, this company's doing great. There's going to be changes and they're making progress." And then I forget when one of y'all mentioned it earlier, but after a year of doing that, they're going to start feeding in those old ways back again. Like I could totally see Target saying they're going for bankrupt, close down, and then a new shop will come up that's exactly like them, offering the exact same thing, but just under a whole different mask and different mantra. So it's just
right.
like
Yep.
there's commitment that needs to be involved with it too. Like
Yeah.
we can't just be so quick to just jump in and go on and hoping things are going right. Like just like other companies are standing on like whatever their principles and beliefs are, we have to do it too as people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You figure
Absolutely.
what the Montgomery bus boycott lasted how many years? And they had to then engage, because again it was our money, and we had to say, are we going to spend our money to continue to be disrespected? So
Yeah,
we have to make that choice. And then also we have to figure out, you figure after the murder of George Floyd, how many companies decided to completely change how they represented in black with black people in their companies. How many companies are still doing that today?
mhm,
And so we would need to make sure that their actions are not performative, and that it's not, that they're respecting all people, what everybody brings to the table.
yeah. It makes me now think back to a lot of employment opportunities that I applied for, now knowing where I fall in this list of DEI, and knowing my qualifications and not even getting anything of that. No kind
And I,
of.
and I will and I will say that's not necessarily about DEI. Right now, a lot of companies are using these models, and they have digital screening, and it's a mess. So I
Mm,
know that when I had a talent acquisition person, one of the things that we did, we really took the time to almost make it a blind application.
mm,
So a blind application is you assign the people a number. Nobody else knows anything else about them. They don't know their name, they don't know where they're from, they know nothing except for their experience on paper. And then they can make a decision. We want to see, person 5, person 12, and person 15, just based on their experience.
mm.
Now, eventually they have to see who you are, but
Right.
you have to get past applicant tracking systems, and applicant tracking systems right now are just a mess.
Yeah. And that's those extra questions that are optional, that
Mhm.
you would think would help, but they actually could hinder and not help.
Yeah.
So,
You'd be surprised. It was a study done where a CEO applied to a job at his own company, and he was rejected.
oh wow.
So, yeah, you don't have people looking at the resumes when you first apply for a resume, I mean, for a job, and you go on and put in your resume, there very seldom is a person looking at your resume. It's an applicant tracking system, and they're matching up things, and it's just a nightmare.
Mm, wow. You're muted, Mo.
My bad. I was like, I also think that we need to be educated consumers in the sense of knowing who owns what, because
Yes.
there are a lot of parent companies that own other companies. You know what I mean? So just as you were saying, Kivas, like, don't be surprised if you see Target folding, but then their owners open up a whole new store under a whole different name, and then try to still then end up getting the dollar. And because we're not doing our due diligence to know who's owning stuff at the end of the day, you know what I mean, when we turn around and we say somebody like Meta Platforms is a company that decided um to drop their DEI programs, and that's the parent company for Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So having that kind of conversation is like, okay, let's see. Does that mean that, we're no longer using Facebook and Instagram for a minute and now we about to use these other platforms? Does that mean we're no
And
longer
threads.
using Google anymore? Does that mean that, the Black Farmers Coalition, who's been using John Deere for a really long time, like, are we not doing that anymore? Tractor Supply, although they might have the 25-cent chickens, like, we not going there anymore to get them. We might have to go somewhere else, or we might have to now go amongst ourselves in the farms to end up getting our chicks for right now. Like you said, we hitting them in the pocket is the best way for us to be able to do it. And I think that our generation is the one to do it, whereas the previous generations didn't have that spending power. They didn't have the money that we do now to be able to say stuff. So that's why we ended up, like you said, the Montgomery boycott, that was like almost definitely well over a year. You know what I mean? Before something happened. Like, and I did see a post that was just like, the boycott was 382 days. Holla at me when y'all are really serious about something. Like, you know what I mean? One
Mhm.
day doesn't do anything. Everybody's going to go and rush and spend all their money the day before and then hold off on this one day and then go back to the store the next day. At the end of the day, they weren't worried about it. Like, they were
Yeah.
just like, okay, fine, that's just one day, but I made more yesterday and I'm gonna make more tomorrow than I would have made today anyway. So fine, don't come to my store today. And for them, they're
Mhm.
not worried about it. But if we're really committed to saying, hey, we're over this, and what you're not about to do is keep, using us, or, wanting to use us when it's convenient, really,
Mhm.
then folks will start treating us a little bit differently, or then we can turn around and Marcus Garvey this whole thing. you know
Mhm.
That'll change everything too.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
yeah, that was like, any last words? Do you guys, I was like, how many people actually like know all of the companies that have decided to drop their DEI programs? Do
The
you
the
are
list is growing every day.
It is most definitely. Most definitely. Um, I'm looking
And not just,
here. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, not just their DEI programs, but how about their programs for when it comes to women and healthcare? We also need to
Mm.
look
Yeah.
at things like that because Black maternal health is an issue. And it starts
Yeah.
with the healthcare and women and what companies are doing things like that. There's a certain company, I won't name them, but I need to go get yarn, but I refuse to go to this company. And they have the yarn that I need, but once I found out about them, I refuse to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. Which to me only does nothing. I'm this serial entrepreneur. So I'm like, okay, you need what? Let's go find somebody who can go make that real quick then. Like, oh,
Mhm.
that sounds like a job opportunity right here, just
Yes.
so that we don't have to, go. Anybody that wants to be on the fence too, you know what? You could, no answer or straddling the fence is an answer too. So,
Mhm.
Yes.
you
Absolutely.
know. We need
Absolutely.
to say something. And you're right, with healthcare, me being also in healthcare, that's a big thing right now. I know that I've got clients that are begging for doula services, but the insurance companies have zero intent on making doula services something that they will offer as a benefit.
Well, they know what
And I'm
that's
like,
going to entail, so they don't that is going to cause women to have better care because they're just being funneled through like cattle, and you just come
Yeah,
in and do this done, get that done, okay, you're fine, and then that's not the case. Whereas the doulas come
absolutely.
in on a more personal level and they have that extensive training, not saying that they're above the physicians, but they have a whole lot more care than some of them do, and they know what's
Yeah.
necessary. And I'm Morgan, I'm glad that you called me and asked me questions about stuff, because I see that in surgery all the time. Like, was this absolutely necessary? Like, many
Yeah.
Yeah.
times, no.
There,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I've been in the delivery room with my daughter both times, and the doctor just came in to catch the baby, and the nurses did everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's why I just want to push out there that, the importance of Black midwives, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them don't go through the normal processes, and a lot of them don't take insurance, and unfortunately even more of them aren't even taking Medicaid, because it doesn't I don't think people also understand, as a provider, all that it entails to take these things. You know what I mean? Like, it costs money. Like, you have to have certain insurances in order to do certain things, and the more that you do stuff, the higher that insurance rate is, and that payout that you're going to have to do. And so when it comes down to, like what Medicaid is paying, sometimes it's like I'm not even making a third of what I would normally charge here. And although it's not about the money, like, there also needs to be a livable wage, that
Mm-hmm.
you're doing, and that you're getting for your expertise, your time, and what you're bringing to the table. You don't want somebody who's going to, give you some half-ass service. You know what I mean? And that's how sometimes I feel like it happens now with Medicaid, um adding doulas to the benefits, because sometimes it's like, so now you've thrown this out here to a huge population that's absolutely that needs this service, but there still aren't enough doulas to actually be able to supply the need, or you've got enough doulas to be able to, support the need, but now you're over here and you're not paying them to a standard that would make it worth their while. You know what I mean? Because as a doula, you are working as a no, it's not, please. You are working as an independent contractor, so to speak. So at this point in time, it's not like the rate that you pay me. Let's just say that you pay you $1,000. $1,000 goes into my pocket. No, 51% of that goes into my pocket, because I still end up having to pay taxes. I'm still gonna need to pay for my gas to and from the hospital, and prenatal visits, and all of that other kind of stuff. So by the time I'm done, let's be real. How many births do I need to do in order for me to be able to pay my rent, in order for me to show the guy who, I'm trying to rent a place from, to do that? And then we're talking about kids. If you got kids, then that really, and most doulas got a lot of kids too. Like, we stack them up. I'm on the smaller end of how many kids. Like, most of my doula sisters, they range anywhere between like 4 to 6, maybe even 7 kids. Like, that's a lot of
Personal?
children. So I'm so
They're
serious. So
they're personal
yeah,
kids? Woohoo!
yeah, which
Wow.
means a lot, and a lot of us do homeschool for that
Mm,
reason. On top of that,
wow.
so it's one of those things, like, we got mouths to feed. We take this, this charge and this work very seriously. And we know, based upon the statistics, that what the system is doing right now is not benefiting anybody whatsoever. So, yeah, let's go back to the way we were doing things beforehand, where things were a lot more favorable for everybody. But now y'all just want to say, oh, well, we're helping with doula services by allowing that to be a benefit, but then you're not paying anybody.
right.
So now what? Are you going to either get subpar service, or you're going to get a lot of doulas that aren't interested?
Hmm.
And that's what we're seeing even here right now in Delaware. Like, there's a lot of doulas that are not interested because the rate isn't worth their time,
Yeah.
So we've got a
Well,
long way to go, guys.
yeah, a long
Yeah.
way, but if we're working together really and it's consistent, we'll start to see some change. That's the thing, is being consistent with it and working together. And I would love to see that in our country, at least amongst us. as people of color. I really, really want that. But, it's going to take more than just me doing my part here, my little section of the world. It has to be a worldwide thing. I can make impact wherever, but it has to be more. So, Marla, I'm grateful that you came on with us. What last things would you like to share about the DEI and encouraging words for us, what we should be doing and how we should be moving forward with this now that we have this information?
We should continue to advocate for ourselves when we work in companies where there are significant diverse populations. We should advocate for ERGs, which is employee resource groups. So, like things like a Black Employee Network, a Women's Network. I used to work for a major conglomerate that had everything from a veterans network to a working's mom network, to a part-time employee network. But those types of things are needed because people need to belong and people need to feel as though there are other people in that organization that are going through what they're going for. We need to advocate for more mentorships in organizations for people of color and for women. Um, and those are the things that we need, and we need to continue to advocate for. And we need to just continue to advocate for ourselves and support each other.
That's it. Y'all hear that? Support each other, which seems to be the one issue we cannot do. We can't keep it. I'm gonna let you, if you can, talk on that about us supporting and working with each other.
Like, yeah, that is like my biggest thing. There's no reason that we know so many talented people within our own circle. Like, not even just anybody we don't know. Within our own circle, we all know somebody who is capable of doing a job that we need, or we know of somebody who's looking for a service, and we know somebody who can provide that. There is no reason why we can't come up with our own phone book like they used to have, back in the 50s and 60s, where it was just all everybody who has something to offer. Why
Mhm.
we can't get that information out to anybody? Like, we're not going to move forward if we don't support each other.
Right,
There's no way we can do it alone.
right, right.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
unless
And
each and
believe it or
every
not,
one of us.
that book
Oh, no, good.
exists.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh no, it's just not in circulation as it once was, or people aren't aware of it. Knowing that it is a thing, it is real.
Wow.
You can register yourself on there, and and just sharing the information too. That's another thing. Sometimes I think we were talking about it last week. We hold information within ourselves because we don't want anybody else to be above us or anything like that. Just share that information, get it out there. Things will be so much easier. The complaints will go down about why can't we find this, why can't we find that. Well, because you know somebody and didn't tell anybody about it.
Right. Absolutely. Everything that we need is within our community. I always think about ministries, and it makes me think about church and how in ministries, usually you have every single thing you need in one ministry, whether there's a physician that's there, whether there's an accountant that's there, whether there's a nurse that's there, anything,
You got the
carpenter,
big tall ones.
mechanic, everything would be right there. Just that you're supporting each other and circulating that through your own community.
Yes.
You can find that. Like, I always look for, okay, can I find my people that do this? And I can't wait to get off here to look at my emails to find that Black owned company. I need some bread. I need some other stuff. I need to do a big order and have it shipped to me so I can now. But Morgan said at the beginning, we have to be strategic with our ordering and our planning to make sure we have what we need, so we don't have to, in a panic moment, go do something else and then regret it later on. But yeah, and we did talk about that last week about having all this knowledge, because our topic was invest in your people, and you have this knowledge to invest in others, and we hold that because we don't want anybody to get above us. But that's not what this is about. This is about us doing it all together. There's plenty room up there for all of us to be up there. Why not? Like, why? So
Yes.
I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. This was, Y'all, I told you from the beginning, y'all, this is going to be good. And for those of you that were on, I hope you enjoyed it. Marlo's going to give some information to Morgan, who's going to give it to me, and we'll figure out how to get it to everyone if you're interested. I know I am. I need a whole lot of stuff. I'm over here in my little bubble, like, dang, I need to go search more. But see, I stopped watching the news for a while. Stopped watching news because it was just too much. It was too much. But now I'm in it every day, in it, like what is going on, because I know I'm gonna have to prepare for something crazy to happen. So every day I'm like, what's going on? What happened overnight while I was trying to sleep peacefully?
Yes.
And wake up this morning and there's a whole new change in the world. Like, wait a minute, what's going on? So
Yeah,
stay
it's a minute by
informed.
minute thing.
Stay informed, everyone. There is avenues and resources for you to stay informed of what's going on. Know how you can play your part. Know what you can do. And don't let it be a little temporary thing and you do it just for a little bit and then you go back to the old ways, because it gets a little difficult. It's going to be that way. But anything worth changing and moving is going to require the work. I know when I was in surgical technology school, it was hard and I wanted to stop, but I kept going, and the benefits of me keeping going and graduating have got me where I am. So all of us need to do that and keep moving, because it's going to help us as a people, both individually and as a group. So y'all got it. Kivas, you got any last words?
I'm just happy to be here.
All right, Morgan, you got any last words?
No, but I'm gonna miss y'all next week.
Oh, you know what? And I was looking at the calendar. Next Monday is not the last Monday. There is another one. So I don't
That's
know.
what I was thinking. That's what I was
just,
thinking. I was like,
yeah,
I think we have another one. So then
we
that's
do.
good.
So the 31st. So next week, Kivas, if you want to come on next week, because it's just going to be me, I got to figure out what I'm going to do, since Mo's going to be across the water in a totally different country.
Across the pond.
You're way across the pond, ma'am. That's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
But do
I'll
your
try to
research.
make sure that I get on in a timely manner. I'll try to make sure to get here a little bit.
We'll come up with a nice topic to discuss next week. But listen, y'all come back next Monday. Kivas and I will be on here, and then the following Monday will be our He Said, She Said. And y'all, if you miss next Monday, okay, but you cannot miss that last Monday in this month. The topic, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is.
We said pearl clutcher.
Yes, it's going to be a pearl clutcher. Y'all need to come for that one. You absolutely need to do it. Marlo, thank you so much for coming on this evening and discussing this DEI with us. This was the perfect time, even though, we had you scheduled before and you fell ill, but this is it. So I believe there's always a divine appointment and timing with everything. So this had to be the time. So we're going to
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. You're welcome to come back anytime. If you got other topics you discuss, you're the expert on. Hey, we will have you back. We don't have any problem. We've had some repeaters come on before. It's good. We like that. We can continue.
Absolutely, and she's a motivator. That's why I said in the conversations we had, I was like, "Oh, I like her." Like we can just have her on to just talk about her in general and what she does. Her quote unquote 9 to 5. So So yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like
So
a plan.
we'll have her back.
Just let me know.
All right, that works for me. Listen, I'm going to put my little plug in here, because Morgan and I, we always do our little plugs of stuff. But y'all coffee drinkers, listen, I have premium organic coffee that my company has just released like 2 weeks ago. And when I tell you it is flying off out of the warehouse, I need you to get that. Reach out to me and I can give you more information on it. It is non-GMO, gluten-free, sugar-free, nut-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and it tastes amazing because I've had it myself. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I drink this coffee from my company and I won't drink anything else. So don't go to Starbucks getting that. And that's just one version. We have so many others. She got some of it, but we have the cappuccino, we have that's the latte, gold, and black, whatever your taste is. This cappuccino here that released on I believe it was the 1st of March or either the 7th, has been going like crazy. So reach out to me. I can give you more information on what the ingredients are. And for a non-coffee drinker to be now drinking this and not addicted, but it's good. It's really, really good. That's big for me. That is. So y'all reach out to me and I'll give you more info. Next week, we will be back on again at the same time, same platform, maybe. I don't know. We working out the kinks with one stream. I don't know. This contender might lose. We might have to go back to the old way. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're going to get it together. But next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be back on here. Share this out. Join us next week. Let people know. Follow House of Peach. Follow Boss Ladies Lounge. We're going to be on. We thank you all for joining us. So until next week, traveling mercies to Morgan because she won't be here.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm gonna miss you so much. Now I can't come to Delaware and see you. You're gonna be, if I want to see you, I gotta book a long flight. But it'll be worth it.
Listen, this is just for a short amount of time. Like I said, I'll be back to gather things, to gather you, and then we go back together. That's how we're gonna
go back. Hey, don't think that we won't do it. It just might be possible.
Listen, I got like 5 other people that's like, yo, you sure you ain't got room in your suitcase? Like, I'll have the passport ready if they unzip it. Like, I got the passport. Just throw me under the plane.
I'll chill. I'll be there. I'll just sleep. So,
exactly.
All right, y'all. Have an amazing evening and amazing rest of your week. And we will see you back here on next Monday. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.